Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We are gonna do the review of Maul Shadow Lord episode 7 and 8, and let's begin.
Um, we have was it the Crow Inquisitor
Yeah,
show up. I don't think he has a single line of dialogue during these two episodes, does he?
I don't think so.
maybe
That
like
he
a
and
boy or something. I don't know
yeah,
when what's his face Riley shows up or whatever. I'm not 100%. I don't think so. No.
You know.
I know that
Um,
the Crow guy and Crow and Savage are voiced by the same guy who's also Mr. Krabs.
Yep, makes sense. That checks out. That is the
And
most.
General Craig too.
That's the most voice actor thing possible.
It is everywhere.
It's like how SpongeBob voice acts. In Transformers 2, those two twin. Uh,
yeah,
he voice acts
Yeah.
one of them, and where they're just swearing the entire time. And like once you hear SpongeBob in it, it's hard to not hear SpongeBob just
Yeah.
swearing nonstop. It's really funny.
Another random one though is like that remember in season 5 of Clone Wars where they have the Padawans get their crystals and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So there was the one that was like Kit Fisto species was voiced by the same guy who does Beast Boy.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the
Anyways,
show.
yeah. So I really like the show is just again amazing animation as always. But I really like the background of like the cities or whenever they show a new landscape because it shows like a mixture of like watercolors and like watercolor painting, I should say. And where
yeah.
it just super it's like blend in. It might seem blurry, but that's kind of like the effect of it. It's just really
It
cool.
fits. Yeah, it fits very well with the show and the visual aesthetic of the animation and the
Mhm.
style of it. Um,
But they're actually
but
making Marok and Crow, the Crow Inquisitor. They're making them look competent, which is
Yeah.
insane.
They're competent until you remember how they die.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say it's less on Marok's point because at least Marok died to at least a somewhat stronger Ahsoka.
Yeah, and he wasn't no
Um,
diff.
yeah, but but Bro losing to an Ahsoka
With no
that was
lightsaber.
unarmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that aura depth is. I don't think that there's enough aura in the Maul show that Crow can have to recover from what happened in Tales of Jedi.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Unless somehow he kills Maul or something, which even then I'm like, then how weak was Maul?
I have a lot of questions in how strong is Ahsoka is the real question.
Okay, to be fair, I feel like Ahsoka's number one counter. She counters all Inquisitors.
That's true.
Because
Remember Rebels
She
where
does.
yeah, she just cooks the Rebels Inquisitors. She just cooks Inquisitors. And I feel like it's more of her knowing exactly what they're gonna do. Because she was trained by the best fighting Jedi of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Rebels Ahsoka is very underrated when it comes to power. She is very strong.
Yeah.
And I would say Maul and Ahsoka during that time were around probably equals. Because even then they fought for like a little bit. They stalemated, but Ahsoka retreated from the fight, but then trusted a blind Kanan to finish him off. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think they're relatively equals by the time of Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Season 7 Clone Wars, Maul is the more obvious, like stronger of the two.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but I was kind of kind of taken it back by how Crow and Marok did so well against Maul.
Yeah.
Now granted, Maul was injured
Yeah.
during that fight.
And it was a 2v1.
It was a 2v1 too. That's also true. Um, But yeah, these Inquisitors, like compared to like the Rebels ones, I don't even think Grand Inquisitor had like this much like you know like
Aura
oh
or
like aura and then
okay.
also like actual competence kind of.
Yeah, to be fair, Rebels was like when Grand Inquisitor was the main villain. Rebels was still in its we have to make this for 8-year-olds more so than teenagers
Mhm.
or like young
Mhm.
adults as well. While Maul and even Clone Wars season 7, it was strictly for these are for like 15 and up or more so like
Yeah.
early 20-year-olds. This is what it's meant for. So I guess it's really hard to say that like oh Rebels all the Inquisitors look weak, but their purpose was not to make it like oh these bad guys might actually kill the main characters or anything. It was more lighthearted, if anything.
Yeah. Maul is more of our demographic.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very true.
or at least in season 1 of Rebels, because in season 3 and 4, I think it gets way more mature. Rebels,
Mm.
which happens a
Yeah.
lot in like you see that in Avatar: The Last Airbender, even in Clone Wars, the first season. You see that with so it's just something they have to do. They did with cartoons a lot until they got more confidence in what they're making.
Yeah. The
Yeah, because
craziest
the
example is
audience grows up with the show.
That too, as
So
well. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I think the craziest example of that is Young Justice. Like the jump from season 2 to 3, I think was like 10 years, and then just got super mature out of nowhere.
See, that might be a little bit sus if they do that, especially if it was similar to like Rebels types of vibes, and then it went to
I mean, yeah, it was like a kids show in seasons 1 and 2, but then they had blood and gore in season 3, and I'm like, wow.
yeah, yeah, that might be a little bit interesting to be honest, to go straight to
That's what's
that.
too far.
But what else happened during this episode? I feel like a lot of like the main points was the Inquisitors. We do get like a little bit of Maul's like
Yeah,
inner
his inner
turmoil.
yeah his inner thoughts, which honestly, like it's making more and more sense why he's searching for some stuff, right? Because that's like him defeating Palpatine is why he's searching for the Sith holocron, most likely. And then,
I mean, yeah, yeah,
and of course, Kenobi was his last ditch effort to cling on to anything. And then when he realizes Luke is gonna avenge everybody, he's at peace, or as close as he can be at peace.
yeah.
So we're
Um,
starting to see the pieces of what led up to Maul in Rebels.
I think there's like obviously Maul did have like hatred for Sidious after he lost in the Phantom Menace, like or at least like after like the season 5 Clone Wars getting absolutely wrecked by him.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think that part of Maul hasn't really been explored too much, mainly because it's kind of like this distant goal for him, whereas like in order to like it's more focused on how he's going to like obtain like
Power and an army to be able to
his
face him.
power. Yeah, yeah, more so that rather than the why aspect or like what he actually thinks or what he's going to do, um or like his general like motives and thoughts, because we did see like a bit of like him being taken away from Savage and then
Mm-hmm.
him training under Palpatine.
Mhm.
um
Yeah. I think this is like the benefit of this show is because it's taking a very beloved character and then showing like everything about him, like all his reasonings behind like all his past stuff. And I feel like we're exploring Maul way more than I think we ever thought we would in his character, and we're seeing really the inner workings of his mind at this point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like we're learning more about Maul that we didn't realize that we really enjoy learning about Maul.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. um
Moving on to like the other gang. I've really liked Devon. I don't even know how to say your name, but
It's Evan.
I've really starting to like her. She's I feel like you could. I sense a little bit of Anakin in terms of how she acts, or Ahsoka as well, like a mixture between them two.
I
Yeah, that's
think
true.
it's yeah, because I mean we all see it. She's going to like eventually be trained by Maul. I think like in order to have that character, you need to have like the sort of faults of like Anakin in terms of that, because
Mm-hmm.
and then I feel like they kind of took like the faults of Anakin being like quick to anger and all that stuff, and then gave it more so the Ahsoka vibe, because Ahsoka is very much like a we must help people kind of way at
Mm-hmm.
like as like the main core thing rather than like just hide. And I think that's what they're doing with that is where Devin has like a very strong morality to like help people and like fight back, but she also is like very quick to anger. Um which I think it's very um we see that like a couple of times. She gets like really frustrated sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like if
Um
her master dies, I think she'll follow Maul, but I feel like she's just gonna keep on refusing to be trained because just by the way her character acts, it's getting harder and harder to see her turning to the dark side, especially how she acted in these two episodes. Like I
Yeah,
feel like because she was like more like she's very sad that she let Riley get captured, or not sad, but like
just mad.
upset. I guess, yeah, mad
yeah,
and upset
she was
at
upset
herself.
that she was willing, yeah. She was
Yeah,
straight up willing to just go help um
Mm-hmm.
Lawson like immediately.
Yeah, she's more
Um
selfless now in these episodes, which will make it like even if her master dies by the Inquisitors, I don't think she's gonna straight away like I feel like she's just gonna follow Maul because she knows, all right, well he has something to do, and I'm more safe with him than I am on my own with the Empire or something like that.
I what I can see happen is there might be like a little bit of friction because it's kind of happening, but it hasn't really been exploited yet. Her master and Devon are at like kind of conflict in terms of what they want to do.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
that's
she's
true.
gonna choose Maul instead of him, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that happening, especially since Maul did talk about, like severing ties and specifically focusing on that with Devon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they might explore that conflict a bit more. And that might be the tipping stone for why
Also, she didn't mention
Devon
that
wants to
Maul
choose
was the
Maul.
one that she encountered with. Like she
Yeah,
encountered Maul
Yeah,
again.
that's also true.
I'm curious because Devon will. I think Devon somewhat agrees with Maul in terms of like actually having to do something and fight back.
Yeah,
And I think that's why she's a bit like hesitant because because even her master kind of knows that she kind of agrees with Maul in that aspect. And I
yeah,
feel like he's kind of like trying to like hide that from him.
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. What I think is
So
gonna yeah, what I think's gonna happen with Devin probably is I think that eventually she's going to go with Maul for a bit and then kind of realize he doesn't want to go fully and commit with Maul and then just go on her own path.
I
Mm-hmm.
can see that happening at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I mean, Devin has to be out of the picture before Rebels.
Yeah.
Um,
Or just in the background like Ahsoka in the OT.
yeah.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, I think we only have like 2 more episodes, right?
Yeah, we only
Yeah,
have two more
these are the last
episodes.
two.
But I mean, we've already confirmed. But like, wasn't it before the first episode even came out that there's a season two? So that makes me
Yeah, it
really
was.
think we're gonna get season two by the end of this year.
I think at least in the next year, maybe they do like a yearly release of the Mole Show, like they did with Bad Batch.
Yeah, like
They
every
might.
April. because this is very like they announced it very quickly. Because usually shows like the Bad Batch announced it after the season,
Yeah.
and like even if you go to like anime or other animated shows, they announce it after. That's when everything happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I, what do you think the finale is going to be? Like, how do you think? Where do you think they're going to leave us off on?
Oof.
Mm.
I don't. Probably them all meeting with each other and escaping the planet is
Yeah.
my thought. Like even with Maul, they'll all go with Maul, and then the Master either dies or Devin. I think Devin and Riley could leave the other guys and to go with Maul, and that's how they're separated. In season 2, it's the old guys trying to find Devin and
The
Riley who
kids.
are with Maul. Yeah.
Mm,
It could be something like that. Because I feel like Lawson and Mr. Docky. I feel like Docky hasn't done enough to where if you kill him off, I will be convinced that Devin is gonna join the Seth even right now. I
yeah.
think he needs
Yeah.
another season because, like, the way that. Like, this season's just way too short, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Because all of it has been great if it was, like, 16 episodes. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even think double the
Yeah.
episodes is necessary. If it had 6 more episodes, I feel like you could even like maybe quick the pace up even faster. But like, we still barely are attached to these characters.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the whole season is like a movie, like maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
23x or
So, let's not
23 to
let's not try to do
10x.
the math.
Well, it'll be 230
So that would
minutes,
be
so
like
that would be 4 hours. A little
5
bit.
times 10 is 250, which is about 4 some hours.
Yes, I think we either you didn't hear me or you did not realize that I was saying it at the same time or right
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Because I said the exact same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is what else? Oh, the Savage looking Zebrak died, which
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
didn't.
sure if the other one is gonna betray Maul or not. Although, like,
Oh, I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
I don't think
I
so.
feel like he kind of just like shook it off. But we've already seen Mandalorians betray him in these episodes, so like
That's
I feel
true.
like he
Yeah.
might just have the girl. I feel like she's just, for some reason she's just loyal to him 100% forever.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Uh,
why she's necessarily loyal to him, but she is.
Yeah. I guess that's one fault of the. I would say for the show is that the Maul's companions they aren't really fleshed out at all. That they just
yeah.
are there for him.
Yeah, but also like okay, I don't remember exactly. Do we know why the Empire destroys Mandalore? Besides just this, like, is there a chance Maul goes back to Mandalore at all in the show?
I doubt it. I think he's very much focused on the crime because we at the end of this last episode he got Crimson Dawn is
Yeah. Oh,
wanting to
that's
join
true.
back up
Yes, I
with him.
forgot
Yeah,
about
that's true.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about every possible outcome
I think
that could.
next is probably the Black Sun.
Mm-hmm.
100% we're gonna see Dryden.
Mm.
Um, and he's 100% just gonna submit to Maul.
What if we see Len? Like, it'll probably. Okay, honestly, you know what my. You know how we say, like, the relationship between Devin and Riley might be romantic, or definitely is, at some point?
Yeah.
I feel like
Maybe.
there could be a time skip.
I mean,
Like, because.
yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, let's say
I can
if
like
he
see that.
becomes stable with the Crimson Dawn and stuff, there's a time skip, like, a few years, and, like, maybe. And then that season's, like, at the same time the solo movie's happening, right? Something
Mm.
like that. And
Okay.
then that's when we meet Kira, and then I feel like because I don't think they're gonna do just by how much time in these episodes, they're not going to do a romantic angle in the show. What could happen is that during the time it's already progressed almost all the way. If not, they're already like in a relationship or whatever at that point. I feel like something like that because this show definitely by how it's progressing is definitely capable of doing a time skip. Because like
Yeah.
judging by this, Maul was ahead of this for like a decade, right? A crime lord for a decade, even longer. Right?
Yeah.
This is his most successful venture so far in anything,
Mm.
judging by the Solo movie. Which makes me
Yeah.
think: Are we gonna see Lando, even Han Solo?
I mean,
I don't
potentially.
think Han. I
Of course, it
I
depends on how
I
long the
even
show goes
doubt
for, and if
Lando. Maybe. I mean,
I
I think
it could be
Kira
like a
has
Lando
some
Rebels
connections to
situation,
Lando.
right?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
could also see like Tobias Beckett as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Hondo. Are we gonna see Hondo? I feel like Hondo's just guaranteed.
I mean, I don't know. This is Filoni we are talking about, so
So
he's
probably all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Just
Just all of them.
all of them, all of the above. And honestly, half of them I'll probably be like, all right, this makes sense. And the other half I'm gonna be like, why are we doing this? But honestly, like, do we know why Hondo loses all his crewmates?
They got killed by the Empire, didn't they?
yeah. I think it was the Empire.
Was that was
Got
that Hondo talking about that, or was
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he talks about it in Rebels.
okay? Do we trust Hondo? Could this be another lie to get favor for other people? Right?
I
But
Because he
like,
what did he told that to Ezra, right?
yeah.
He's like, oh, I
But
always
like,
hate the rebels. I have to see back on exactly what he was saying, but like, it could be that Maul killed his entire pirate group as well, and not Hondo was lying and being like trying to get sympathy with Ezra.
no, the funniest thing would be if like it was completely Hondo's fault, and, like he just set up his crew to die. He's like,
Okay,
oh, the Empire.
to be fair, that is the most likely answer. Even if he says the Empire in like we watch
Yeah.
it back, he was fighting the Empire, but it would be his fault still. Like either way, it will always be his fault. It just depends on who he was facing to make it his fault, I guess. So he can maybe shift the blame because that's just Hondo in a nutshell.
I don't know. I think it would be the Empire. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maul is petty, so I
Or
mean, it's
or
not
I
Hondo
could
or
see Maul doing a business deal with Hondo and betraying him or something, right? That could I like how we just do this review episode and then, like always, we just become into conspiracy
Yeah.
theorist episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Like it's like 25%, maybe 40% review, and the rest just speculation of what's going to happen next.
And then we're like 2% right on anything.
Yeah. And then like,
Yeah.
all right, let's have a review. Then we
But
finally have
this is the fun thing about being a Star Wars fan, I guess. You could just
yeah.
ramble on nonsense the entire time.
um. I guess also, do we think we're gonna see like at any point a Vader versus Maul fight?
It'll probably happen like if this goes on, because like the more we watch, the more I'm like this is gonna last maybe as long as Clone Wars in terms of season output. Like the more I watch it, if especially if they don't do a time skip. If they do a time skip, I think it could be like 3 or 4 seasons. But if it's like 7 seasons, I think we're guaranteed. If it's like four
Oh yeah.
seasons, I think we're likely to. But I wouldn't wager like a house on it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But we're definitely leading up to it, especially like with everything that's going on. Like he has to kill Marok at least, right?
That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
if Marok.
Because
Yeah, if
because
Marok
what's his face just
died.
doesn't die. Like what? Why does that guy go to that other planet when he should be chasing Maul?
That should also be really soon, I feel
I
like
think.
too. Because
Okay,
like
I think by the end of the season, the Empire's probably gonna lose Maul. Maul's gonna escape the planet and just go in the shadows, and then they lost the trail, and then
I think
they move
Marok
on.
could die in the end of the season as well.
yeah.
That's also a possibility. Marok dying at the end of this season.
But honestly,
So,
I wonder if Devin kills Marok instead of Maul or like Daki.
Yeah. What if Devin kills Marak out of pure rage because her master dies?
Yeah, I feel like it would be too soon for that to happen. It depends on how they do it, of course, because they could still do it right, even if I say it's too soon. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's still too soon to kill off Daki or even Marak at this point.
Honestly, yeah. Because like now you think about it, it hasn't been that long since they got introduced.
Yeah. I mean, like, how long was it? Like, the Inquisitors from season 2 were barely in any episodes, right? They're in, like, 6 episodes out of, like, the 24 or whatever.
I don't remember. I gotta rewatch season 2.
Yeah. But then, like, also,
Grand
how
Visitors only needs a
does...
couple episodes too.
Yeah, that is true. Also, like, how does, that one Inquisitor, was it eighth brother? Why does
Don't
he
ask me these
chase Maul
questions.
to that planet of nothingness? Right? Or, it's not planet of nothingness, but...
Of Malachor. I mean,
Yeah.
Malachor, they wanted
That's the
the
plan of
Empire.
Darkseidness.
I've never understood it because like they weren't able to get the Sith. Vader wasn't able to get the Sith holocron and unlock the temple.
It's because you need an apprentice, right? That's why.
Maybe. Yeah,
Because he didn't
I
have
don't
an
know.
apprentice. And then Palpatine's
I
probably like, I don't
guess.
want to get off the couch, man.
I guess.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, he was tracking Maul. Maybe Maul kind of showed himself again. I mean, that's like several years
Also, like, what if
ahead.
it's like a light side, like, you need a light side force user to unlock it as well? Because, I mean, we have to rewatch Rebels Season 2, I guess.
Yeah.
That's, like, the biggest thing on our list right now. We learn more
But the
Rebel
about,
main
season 2
thing
watch
was
party again.
like the
yeah.
main thing I specifically remember was it took two
It took
in
two, a
order.
master and an
Yeah,
apprentice. And it depends on if you need one of the dark and one of the light, which I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
don't
so
But
I
it's
either.
don't think you
definitely
need
a
to.
Sith thing to do in a stupid way, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but realistically, who were the first two to unlock it? And the people who locked it.
I, you're asking stuff that happened tens of thousands of years ago in Star Wars world. No one knows.
That's a good point.
Like, who knew if even droids were around then?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But overall, these two episodes, I think,
I think they were the best, or they were my favorite. I'm not sure if they're the best, but they are definitely my favorite of a bunch. Especially because I feel like we're starting to learn the personalities of the characters more, and like we
yeah,
understand why they do stuff and like how they do it, and that's like always my favorite thing of learning about characters because you can tell when a show's just mediocre and it just has great action. JJK, where like the characters, yes, are cool, but you really don't know 100% what their motives are, and you're feeling like, okay, why are we doing this? Why are we fighting this? Why is insane action happening? And you're like, these characters wouldn't have done that 3 episodes ago. Why are they doing it now? And I feel
Yeah,
like in
that's
this
true.
show, we're really seeing the motives and the thought process of each character, especially with these last few episodes. Especially with Maul, I feel like Devin got a lot of development, even though she didn't really speak a lot.
yeah, yeah. I would definitely agree with you. They're starting to become more fleshed out as characters. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
um,
mean, Maul, Devin, all them. I feel like Lawson got fleshed out a lot as well. Shout out Captain Lawson. You understand why he doesn't like the Empire?
Yeah, his dead,
Ex-wife.
his deadbeat wife.
but yeah. Um, is there anything else about the episode we need to talk about?
I think
Uh,
so.
I mean, I did like. I think I mentioned it when we were watching it, but I did like the cut of like when she was doing the speeder or vehicle. Is it considered a speeder? I think it's
I think it
considered
was
a
a
speeder.
speeder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
multi-man speeder, I guess. And then like it's a cut to there already be, and I always love those cuts, even though yes they might be overdone sometimes, especially in Star Wars. But those are always my favorite cuts where
Yeah, yeah.
they're all beat up and she drives off. I always love stuff
Mm.
like that.
Bet the animators love that too.
Yeah. Well, it depends because I feel like Lucasfilm, their animators love what they do. Like the more and more you watch like their stuff, there's so much love that goes into even like the Tale series. Like the Tale series is so well animated for a show that doesn't need to be well animated. It could be in like 2D flash like a
It
PowerPoint
could be like
presentation and I would have still
Mhm.
liked them. But they're so well animated and well developed and fleshed out stories even if people don't like them or for whatever like especially like the Bears episodes or the Morgan Elsbeth episodes and whatnot.
Yeah.
They are extremely well animated still. And
And
I love the style change in Maul. The
yeah,
style change.
you can definitely tell like the step up from like even Clone Wars season 7 to like the Tales and the Mole show.
Yeah. Like
yeah.
I want to see like a side by side of season 1, season 4, season 6, season 7 of Clone Wars. Season Rebels is a different animation style,
What
like
about
where
Bad
it's
Batch?
Yeah.
completely different. But then you go to Bad Batch, maybe 1 and 3, but I think they all look very similar. Maybe they are
Yeah.
different. And then you do each Tale series, and then you do this one. I feel like this one looks so much different, even if it's the same like style for the most
Mhm.
part. It looks so much different. Maybe if we go on a different planet, it will look more of like the Bad Batch feel. But on this planet with like the constant blues and greens, like it just looks so
Yeah.
stunning.
Hmm. Imagine what it would look like in 2030 then.
One thing that I did notice was when they were doing the mall flashbacks, they cut back to like season 5 of Clone Wars stuff,
Mhm.
and honest honestly, I felt a little jarred because the animation quality is so different.
Yeah,
From yeah, I don't know whether you felt that, Justin. I felt it as soon as I saw it. I was like,
I felt like it
yo,
was
this looks
so
like crap
blurry
compared to
that
what.
I was relatively fine with it. But now that you mention it, I feel like if I were to rewatch it again and with that in mind, I would definitely be like, ew.
Yeah.
But when I watched it initially, I didn't really think about it too much.
Mm, I don't know.
But yeah, that could
I
definitely be a
thought about
problem.
it. I was
Yeah.
like, huh. Because it was like, because they added new stuff to it, but then they also like flashback to the old stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah, like the Savage thing. Yeah, it did look, but it was very blurry at least. So even if it didn't look as good as the rest of the Mo show, I feel like with all like whatever he was in, I don't even know if it's a real sandstorm or his brain was just forging up a sandstorm at that time or whatever. Because how is
mhm.
there a sandstorm on a planet like this where it's either a ginormous city or grass and
Yeah.
hills? So I
I
don't
mean,
even
there
know
is sand
how.
somewhere.
Like unless he's somehow wound up in like Nebraska or something. How did he end up doing that?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it looked like maybe
Like a
a
ventilation or
pipe or
something?
something. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like some
Honestly,
sort
it
of
probably could be ventilation. I guess I have to look back and see what the floor looks like. It definitely might. Actually, now that I think about it, it's probably ventilation.
Mhm. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I would say that's like my only criticism of the episode was the Clone Wars flashbacks being just so jarringly
Mm-hmm.
different. Um. But other than that, I didn't have any big criticisms. It's finally it still hasn't like reached for me like the peak moment yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now I think it's good, about to tamper into great.
Yeah,
Um,
it's one of those shows where there's not you don't really have any negatives about it, but there's nothing that says, okay, this is an amazing show. It's just a
yeah.
good like I feel like it could be. by the end of the season 1, I think I'll probably say it's a great show, but not like a 10 out of 10 show, like an
Yeah.
8.5.
I
Yeah,
feel like there's
this.
like more that needs to happen.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah.
Or if the cliffhanger's big enough to where I want more, then I might just put it at an 8.5. Kind of like a spider across the Spider-Verse
Across the
situation.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Yeah. It needs to be like this finale needs to be like really great for me to be like, oh, this is peak.
Yeah.
But right now I don't see it in the cards. I think it's gonna have to take more time before we get to that
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
mean, season ones do usually play it safe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate, but I feel like that's the Star Wars motto.
Yeah.
that is a, a lot of Star Wars motto with their series. Yeah,
Alright, is that it?
yeah, I think that's
I think
it.
so. Well, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit a like and subscribe if you would like to listen to more podcasts from the Dino Show. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.